This video is meant to remind you that you are so powerful, so much more than you are aware of. I have recently made experiences where a simple intention setting and opening up the space shifted so much, and I didn't only experience it once, I experienced it several times. So there are all these laws out there, the law of assumption, the law of attraction, and the 7 hermetic principles and all of that. I think that is very important to get familiar with those, to understand how energy works and how we change and shift our reality with our belief system. But so often I experience it that when people tell me about their dreams, what they would like to achieve next, then somehow it's falling through and it's not manifesting. The best example is a person I have been speaking to just yesterday, and she had this big goal at her work. She really wanted to achieve next level, and there was this competition going on, and she almost won. Like, there was one person that had more votes than her, and she was desperate. She really collapsed. She thought she did everything she possibly could. She applied, she worked hard, she was in touch with the colleagues and all of that, and in the end she didn't get it. And she said on the phone to me, "I don't understand, why is this happening again? Why is it always like this? I do my best, I have been working on my manifestation, I've done this and that." And the answer is, you can have so many affirmations you work with, you visualize your goal, you go back to this scenario over and over again. Yes, that's good, but if underneath you have a certain assumption about yourself, that's one point, then this will reflect in your reality. No matter how much you work on that affirmation, this original thought about yourself will be more strongly, more dominant. So most likely her beliefs are, I'm not good enough, I always lose, others are better, I'm always the victim of the situation, etc. So this is all obviously an old program, and the fact that she has been breaking out in tears and feels so triggered in rage and in almost like, she wants a revenge, shows me there is an unresolved conflict that is much older than this current situation. And what you need to include in this calculation is also the field and the systemic connections to family members, people of your family of origin, where you have a certain loyalty towards them. In her case, being the victim, being the loser, being the person in need, being the person who doesn't win and eventually needs to be put back together by other family members. That's her role in the system. And we are much more loyal to that system than creating a new life where we thrive, where we are successful, where we are independent, and where we are, very powerful. Because what does it mean being loyal to that system? You always want to be connected to a group, to a social group. You want to not be kicked out, because on a survival-based level, just imagine you are out in the wild, in the jungle, and you are in a group of 5 or 6 people. If those 6 people are all turning against you, you're not going to survive. So in that case of that woman, if she would become successful and change her career and actually do what she would love, and she would not be loyal to the system of maybe her mother or whoever that is as a representative in her family system of origin, they would they would not accept her. They would push her away. They would be like, "Oh, okay, you don't need us," because there's this weird codependency going on. And therefore, you really need to look at, okay, where are these traits are coming from? Is that maybe my siblings, that I don't want to be competing with. I don't want to make them feel jealous. If I'm successful, they will be like, oh, you are better than us, so we don't want to engage with you anymore. Is it my parents? Because maybe my mom or my dad, they don't feel needed. If I'm sort of thriving, if I'm living my dream, I cannot live my dream because they never lived their dream. So you are so loyal to that system, that family of origin, that you will never thrive if you don't look at those traits, and you will not be able to break these patterns with a little bit of manifestation work and assumption, law of attraction, manifestation, whatever, affirmation, magic, because this is much stronger. That's the field. The field you are working with is always active, it's always present. It's this vortex that has all the energy, or like all the information stored that ever was there and sort of also will be there. It's this intelligent entity that is constantly communicating with you. And then you would think, okay, this trait seems so strong, this connection, like what can I do about it? And I tell you from my own experience, simply by opening up the field, meaning I become calm, I focus my attention, I carefully sense what is in the field, and then you need either a space holder for you, or when you do it by yourself, you need little objects where you can then, you just take a piece of paper and you write your name somewhere. And then you maybe make an error with the direction you would look at. And then somewhere else on the paper you write my blockage to success, or my, I don't know, my belief I'm failing or something. And then you just see how it moves, where it is. And you can do that by yourself. But I think that takes a little bit of experience. And I think it's in the beginning might be too hard for you to do that on your own. But if you have a space holder for you, it's so good to have somebody that helps you to reflect what is there in the field, because you can sense it. The most strongest thing is you take a pillow and the person is standing on top of that pillow, representing some person of your family of origin. That's systemic constellation word, family constellation. And this person will feel and sometimes even say things that they actually cannot know. And that's the magic. That is the proof that it is actually no magic, it's science. It's in the field. You can always tap into this. And it really doesn't take so much. It actually only is, like, so often when you open up that space, the energy is heightened for like 15-20 minutes. And in this time window, you can work so much. Obviously, each day you can only take 1, maximum 2 topics to work with, because it's also a lot for the system to adapt. But once, as I said, you set the intention, you come down, you open the space, you have a space holder that helps you to reflect, to mirror back to you what's there. And then it only takes a few sentences. When you suddenly found the blockage that is maybe always bringing you back into the same situation, you can then talk to the blockage, whatever that is, whoever that is. It might be a person of your family system, as I said. You then have to say words like, I appreciate you, thank you so much for wanting to keep me safe. I really thank you for playing that role for me, but you no longer need it. I am now in my power. I am claiming my blah, blah, blah. There are certain sentences you have to say, and then you will either feel it instantly, you will feel shivers. Some people, they become like all wobbly, they a little bit dizzy. What I often have after constellation, I fall asleep. I suddenly get so tired, so my system is really shifting something, and then I'm just knocked out. And I even experienced it that people had fever the next day, or like within the next 24 hours. And I also had it so often when I would do constellation work with a specific topic, suddenly some people would call me the next day I haven't been in touch with for so long that are somehow connected to that topic. So there I can see, okay, something is going on. And I really believe that, as I said, pure manifestation through assumption doesn't work, because it's not deep enough. It's quite on the surface. You have a piece of paper, you're like, okay, I wish to have this and that in my life. I wish to be like this and this and this and that. But it goes deeper. You need to be aware of your subconscious belief systems about yourself, and you need to be aware of what family dynamic is playing out. What role are you playing in your family of origin? Because, as I said, there's always that loyalty to your own family. And you can say no to that role at any time. It just takes a moment, the intention setting, opening up the space, and communicating that very clearly, and also not with resentment, but with appreciation and thankfulness, because there's always a reason for it. There's always a sense. Even when for example, I'm the person who, like that woman, would lose, who would benefit from that? Okay, in that moment I won't, because I lost, but I'm doing that because of somebody else. Maybe the mother then can always come and repair and help. So I give my mother a purpose, a sense of being there, a job to do. But if my mother doesn't have this job anymore, then what, So I'm loyal to my mother to help her to feel worthy and wanted and needed. But if I say, oh, thank you, I'm an adult now, I can take care of myself now, I don't have to be this role for you anymore. You can find a new purpose in your life besides just being a mother, Then I can raise into my greater potential, because I don't have to feel guilty for this anymore. And just because maybe my mother hasn't had the possibility to live her greatest potential, doesn't mean I have to do the same, But to be aware of that, what's going on here, what patterns are playing out, you need to take a moment and open up that space. And what I mean by this is, the space is always there, but so often we are very much not conscious with it, And it takes practice to be aware, to engage with the field on a daily basis. If you don't do this, then you will not sense it. It will just be on autopilot. So take a minute, find a good practitioner that can hold the space for you, and see what's your biggest blockage right now. What's your biggest problem, your issue that you're dealing with, something that keeps coming back, maybe in different ways. But everybody has that, and as I said, it just takes a few minutes to resolve that, and it can be huge. It can also ripple out for several weeks or months or even years. If it's a bigger thing, you will feel it, you will sense it in some way, but know that it's always continuing to ripple out, just like when you let it drop into the big sea, it will ripple out with so many waves. Yeah, I hope that gave you some inspiration to work with, and leave me some comments. Bye for now.